Right then, let me tell you something about this country which no tourist brochure will ever print. The most expensive mistake you will ever make in Thailand is assuming your wallet buys you respect. Watch a foreigner lose his temper in an Isaan village, and you will witness a master class in self destruction. The Thais have been playing this game for centuries, and you only have just arrived thinking you know the rules. Besides, if you're sitting there smugly thinking I am talking about someone else, well, my friend, you are exactly who I am talking about. Right, settle in, grab yourself a cold beverage, perhaps a Leo or a Chang, though I would recommend something with a bit more character, but I am not here to judge your life choices. I have been living in Isan now for what feels like both a lifetime and the blink of an eye. The rice fields stretch out before my modest home like a golden green ocean swaying in that lazy afternoon breeze that carries the scent of buffalo dung and something sweet I still cannot quite identify after all these years. The locals call it home. I call it the most humbling classroom I have ever stumbled into. What is more, believe me, I have stumbled. You see, I arrived here over a decade ago with the confidence of a man who had read a few travel blogs and thought he had cracked the code. I was going to show these simple farmers a thing or two about efficiency, about progress, and how things should be done. I was going to fix things. I was going to improve things. I was going to, well, you can see where this is going, can you not? Here is a question for you, and I want you to really sit with it. Why do you think the Thais smile so much? I will come back to that. However, first, let me paint you a picture. Now, before I do that, just a reminder this is just a story, not about my life or anyone else's, but based on my observations and experience. The voice is all my own work, but the images are AI generated. With that said, picture this, if you will. It is a sweltering Tuesday morning, the kind of heat that makes you question every life decision that led you to this moment. I am sitting at a small food stall, the kind with plastic chairs that seem designed specifically to make you uncomfortable, nursing a coffee that is more condensed milk than actual bean. A newcomer arrives. I can spot them a mile off. The crisp new shirt, the freshly shaved face, they, the way they walk like they own the pavement. They are usually accompanied by a Thai partner who looks like they would rather be anywhere else, or perhaps a driver who has learned to perfect that expression of patient resignation. This particular specimen, let us call him Kevin, because they are always called Kevin, are they not? Anyway, he strides up to the stall and immediately begins speaking in that particular tone. You know the one. It is the voice people use when they assume volume equals understanding. He is pointing at things, making demands. His body language screams, I am important, and you will accommodate me immediately. The woman running the stall offers that gentle smile. You have seen it. The one that suggests she is either incredibly happy to see you or is mentally calculating how long it would take for you to leave. With Kevin, it is definitely the latter. I said 2 eggs, Kevin barks, as if the eggs personally offended him. Over easy, not scrambled. What's wrong with you people? Now, here is where it gets interesting. The woman's smile does not falter. She does not argue. She does not even seem fazed. She simply nods, says, yes, yes, and continues working. Kevin interprets this as victory. He sits down, smug and self-satisfied, believing he has established dominance. What he does not realize is that he has just lost. You see, in the West, we are conditioned to believe that the loudest voice wins. We equate volume with power, aggression with authority. It is a mentality which works in boardrooms and on sports fields, but in an Isaan village, it is about as useful as a chocolate teapot. The Thais have a different approach. They observe, they wait, they measure you not by what you say, but how you say it. However, more importantly, they watch what you do when things do not go your way. Kevin's eggs will arrive eventually. They might be over easy, or they might be scrambled, or they might arrive with an unexpected side of something that looks suspiciously like the leftovers from last night's dinner. Nevertheless, Kevin will eat them because he is hungry and his options are limited. Besides, the woman will smile because she knows what Kevin does not. The subtle message has been delivered. In this village, you do not get to demand. You get to ask politely and hope that the universe or the woman at the food stall feels inclined to oblige. Here is where we need to talk about something the Thais call Yai Yen. It translates roughly to cool heart, but that does not quite capture it. It is an emotional state, a way of being. It is the ability to remain completely unfazed while everything around you is going absolutely tits up. I learned about Yai Yen the hard way. There was a time, and I am not proud of this, when I threw a bit of a wobbly at the local government office. The details are not important. Something about paperwork error, a queue I did not want to stand in, a general sense that the universe was conspiring against me. I raised my voice. I made demands. I used words that I will not repeat here, though I am sure my mother would have been appalled. The official behind the counter just looked at me, not angry, not offended, just watching, like I was a particularly interesting insect that had wandered into his office. He offered that familiar smile and said, "Take your time, no hurry." Now, at that moment, I felt dismissed. I felt like he was not taking me seriously. Besides, honestly, he was not, because I had just demonstrated that I did not know how this game is played. You see, in Thai culture, raising your voice is not a sign of strength. It is a sign of weakness. It shows you have lost control. It shows you are not capable of managing your own emotions. Besides, if you cannot manage yourself, why should anyone trust you with anything else? The tactical advantage of Yai Yen is that it allows you to maintain control while the other person spirals. While you are sitting there calm as a cucumber, the other person is getting red in the face, using up all their energy and fundamentally undermining their own position. It is like watching someone set fire to his or her own house and then wondering why he or she are now homeless. Besides, here is the kicker. Thais know this. They have been playing this game for generations. They have perfected the art of letting someone else exhaust themselves while they simply wait. I've seen it happen countless times now. A foreigner loses their cool in a market, a restaurant, a government office. The local staff offer that smile, that gentle nod, that agreement to whatever demands are being made. The foreigner walks away feeling triumphant, having won whatever petty battle they thought they were fighting. What they do not realize is that they have been marked. They have shown their hand. They have demonstrated they cannot be trusted in a crisis, that they lack emotional intelligence, and they are not someone you will want to do business with or invite to your family gatherings. The Thais will remember. They always remember. Now, let us talk about something that really gets under my skin. The assumption, and I've seen this time and time again, that having money makes you important. I know a bloke, actually know is a generous term. He is a fellow expat who lives about 10 kilometres from me, and we have had the misfortune of crossing paths on several occasions. Let us call him Barry. Barry is the kind of person who retired early with a comfortable pension and decided that this entitled him to a position of local leadership. Barry bought himself a nice house, bought himself a nice car, bought himself a young wife who tolerates him with the patience of a saint. Then Barry started trying to buy influence. He would go to village meetings and talk about how things should be run. He would offer suggestions, unsolicited, naturally, about how the local temple could be improved and how the farmers could modernize their techniques, how the village could be more efficient. Barry saw himself as a benefactor, a modernizer, a bringer of Western enlightenment to these simple people. What Barry failed to understand is that the village already has a hierarchy. It has been in place for generations. The elders are respected not because of their bank accounts, but because of their wisdom, their experience, and their contributions to the community. The local spiritual leaders hold influence, not because they are rich, but because they have learned the trust of their neighbours. These successful farmers are admired not for their wealth, but for their hard work and their commitment to the community's well-being. Barry's money means nothing in this system. It is like bringing a cricket back to a chess game, completely irrelevant to the actual competition. When Barry offers his suggestions at village meetings, the elders nod and smile and say, "Interesting idea." Then they continue doing exactly what they were doing before, because Barry has not earned the right to be heard. He has not put in the time. He has not shown respect to those who came before him. The result is that Barry remains an outsider. He lives in the village, but he is not of the village. He is invited to events, but he is always sitting at the periphery. People are friendly to him, but they never share their true thoughts or feelings. Barry thinks he is integrated. He is not. He is just tolerated. Now, this brings me back to the question I asked earlier. Why do you think the Thais smile so much? I've been thinking about this for a decade now, and I have reached a conclusion which might surprise you. That smile, it is not always about happiness. Sometimes it is a shield. Sometimes it is a weapon. Sometimes it is the quietest, most devastating form of dismissal you will ever encounter. When the woman at the food stall smiled at Kevin while he was making his demands, she was not pleased. She was observing. She was evaluating. She was thinking, "Ah, here is a man who does not know how things work." When the government official smiled at me during my meltdown, he was not agreeing with me. He was waiting for me to tire myself out. When the village elders smile at Barry and his endless suggestions, they are not actually considering his ideas. They are amused by his presumption. They are watching him stumble through a social landscape he does not understand, and they find it entertaining. There is a concept in Isaan philosophy that I have come to appreciate. It is the idea that you can learn a great deal about someone by simply letting him or her talk. Let them dig their own hole. Let them show you exactly who they are and what they value. Then, when they have exhausted themselves with their own foolishness, you can make your move, or, more often, simply continue doing what you were doing, secure in the knowledge that their self-created problems are not your concern. The Thais rarely correct an arrogant expat directly. They could. They could explain the rules, the hierarchy, and the subtle social cues that govern every interaction. However, why would they? If you are arrogant enough to barge into someone else's culture without learning the basics, you are probably too arrogant to listen to the correction anyway. Therefore, they let you make mistakes. They let you embarrass yourselves. They let you demonstrate exactly who you are while they sit back and watch with that gentle, knowing smile. Besides, here is the beautiful part. They are right to do so, because nothing teaches like the consequences of your own actions. I remember when I finally figured this out. I was in the middle of some petty argument with a local shopkeeper, convinced I was being overcharged, certain that I was being taken advantage of. I was about to launch into another triad when I caught a glimpse of myself in the mirror behind the counter. Then I saw exactly what everyone else was seeing, a red-faced, angry foreigner, so convinced of his own righteousness that he had missed the obvious truth. The shopkeeper was not trying to cheat me. I had just misunderstood the pricing structure. It was that simple. However, in my arrogance, I had assumed bad faith. I had assumed malice. I had assumed I was the victim. I could have made a fool of myself. Instead, I took a breath. I smiled, a real smile, not the performative version I had been practicing. I asked politely for clarification. I accepted the correction with grace. The shopkeeper's expression changed. The guardedness dropped away. We had a laugh about it. He offered me a discount, not because I had demanded one, but because I had shown I was willing to learn. That was the moment I started to understand. So what does this mean for you? Assuming you are not one of the Barrys and Kevins of this world, how do you actually integrate into this culture without making a complete arse of yourself? First, stop trying to fix things. I cannot emphasize this enough. You did not come here to save anyone. You came here presumably because something about this country appealed to you. Maybe it was the food, maybe it was the weather, maybe it was a woman. Whatever it was, the Thais were doing just fine before you arrived, and they will be doing just fine after you are gone. Your job is not to modernize. It is not to improve. It is to adapt, to learn, to find your place in the existing system. Second, learn to listen. Not the kind of listening where you are waiting for your turn to speak. The kind where you are actually absorbing what is being said. The rice farmers around here have been working this land for generations. They know things about soil and weather and timing which you could not learn from 1,000 books. They have developed solutions to problems you have not even encountered yet. I once spent an hour with an old farmer who barely spoke English, watching him tend his rice paddies. I asked questions through a neighbour's translation. He answered patiently, demonstrating techniques that had been passed down through his family for centuries. It was the most valuable hour I have spent in this country, not because I learned anything practical about farming. I'm never going to be a rice farmer, but because I learned something about patience, about craft, about the value of doing something properly without cutting corners, without looking for shortcuts. The rice farmer's approach to his work is not romantic, it is practical. He knows that you cannot rush the growing season. You cannot force the rain. You cannot make the rice ripen faster by shouting at it. However, you can prepare, you can tend, you can wait. Besides, when the time is right, you can harvest. This is the lesson that applies to business, to relationships, to every aspect of life in Thailand. Rushing is pointless. Aggression is counterproductive. Arrogance is self-defeating. The only thing that works is patience, respect, and a willingness to learn. Here is what I have come to understand after all these years. The Thais are not trying to exclude you. They are not conspiring against you. They are not secretly laughing at you. Well, perhaps they are, but it is not malicious. It is the laughter of people who have seen the same performance hundreds of times before. The Thai people who smile at you are not mocking you most of the time. They are inviting you to join the game. They are leaving the door open. They are waiting to see if you are the kind of person who will walk through it or the kind who will stand outside making demands. The expats who succeed in this country are not the ones with the biggest bank accounts or the loudest voices. They are the ones who figured out that humility is not weakness. It is the key that unlocks everything. When you leave your ego at the edge of the rice field, you stop being a foreigner. You stop being an outsider. You become just another person trying to make their way in a complicated, beautiful, maddening, wonderful place. What's more, that right there is the secret, the answer to that question I asked. Why do the Thais smile so much? Because they have figured out something that we, in our Western arrogance, have forgotten. Life is too short to take yourself seriously. The universe is too vast for you to be the center of it, and the rice paddies do not care about your opinion. So take a breath. Watch the water buffalo. Listen to the cicadas. Let the heat wash over you. Besides, when the woman at the food stall offers you that smile, return it, genuinely, without agenda. You might be surprised what happens next. Now then, I have bored you long enough with my ramblings. However, I am curious, have you had your own Barry or Kevin moment in Thailand? On the other hand, maybe you have been the one making the mistakes. We have all been there. Drop your story in the comments below. Share the lesson you learned the hard way. I could use the entertainment, and hit the like button on your way out. Right then, I spent far too long on this little lecture. The buffalo and cows are wandering past my window, and I have a date with a cold beer and the settling sun. If you have made it this far, well, you have demonstrated more patience than most. Perhaps there is a hope for you yet. Remember, the rice does not rush, the water does not demand, and the wise man knows when to stop talking. I'm still learning that last bit. However, I'm getting there. Now, bugger off and enjoy your evening. What's more, if you see Barry, tell him I said hello. He will not get it, but it will amuse me. Now, bugger off. Bye-bye.